The battlefield was quiet. Not the peaceful silence of a calm morning, but the heavy silence that comes after chaos. Broken swords lay scattered across the ground. Torn banners moved slowly in the cold wind. Smoke drifted through the ruins of a battle that had ended only hours before. And in the middle of it all stood one man, a lone warrior. His armor was scratched, rainwater dripped from the edge of his sword, but his face was calm. His name was Kaito, and long before this battle ended, he had already won his greatest fight.
But Kaito had not always been calm. Years earlier, he was known for something very different: anger. He was strong, fast, fearless. His sword struck harder than anyone else's during training. If someone insulted him, he reacted instantly. If someone challenged him, he attacked without hesitation. To Kaito, anger felt like strength. Control felt like weakness, and many warriors admired him for it. But one old master saw something the others did not.
One evening, as Kaito trained with fury, an old master watched quietly. When the training ended, the old man spoke. "Your sword is sharp," he said, "but your mind is dull." Kaito frowned. The master pointed toward the mountains in the distance and said, "Look at the mountain during a storm. The storm is loud, violent, powerful, but the mountain does not move. The storm passes and the mountain remains." Then the old master looked into Kaito's eyes and spoke. "Right now, you are the storm, but a true warrior is the mountain." At the time, Kaito did not understand those words, but life was about to teach him. It happened deep in a dark forest. Kaito and his fellow warriors were traveling quietly beneath tall trees. The night felt strange. The forest was too quiet. Then suddenly, arrows tore through the darkness. Warriors shouted. Metal crashed. Enemies rushed from the shadows. It was an ambush. Chaos exploded everywhere. Some warriors ran blindly. Others attacked without thinking. Orders were shouted, but no one could hear them. And then the worst truth appeared. Someone from their own group had betrayed them. Kaito felt fear rising inside him. His heart pounded. His mind screamed for action. But then something changed. For just one moment, he stopped. He took a slow breath, then another, and suddenly the chaos around him became clear. Instead of panic, he saw opportunity. Instead of noise, he heard direction. He noticed a narrow path through the trees where arrows could not reach. "Follow me," he shouted. A few warriors followed him through the darkness. Through that small opening, they escaped. And that night, Kaito learned something powerful. When the mind panics, it becomes blind. But when the mind is calm, it sees everything. After that night, Kaito changed. He still trained his sword, but he began training something far more important: his mind. He practiced staying calm when things went wrong, when storms blocked his path, when hunger weakened his body, when enemies surrounded him. At first, it was difficult. Anger still tried to control him. Fear still whispered in his mind. But slowly, the storm inside him began to fade. Years passed, and the warrior who once fought with rage learned to fight with clarity. Years later, fate tested him again. Kaito finally came face to face with the man who had betrayed them. The traitor stood in an open field. His sword trembled in his hands. Fear filled his eyes. "You survived," the man said. The wind moved slowly through the tall grass. For years, Kaito had imagined this moment, the moment he would take revenge. But something unexpected happened. He felt no anger, only calm. Kaito slowly raised his sword. The traitor prepared to defend himself. But then, Kaito lowered the blade. The traitor stared in disbelief. "Why?" he asked. Kaito answered quietly, "If anger controls my sword, then you still control me." Then he turned and walked away, because the greatest victory had already been won, the victory over himself. From this story, we learn that most people believe strength comes from force. They believe the strongest person is the one who strikes the hardest. But that is not true. A warrior who cannot control his emotions is like a sword without a handle, powerful but dangerous to himself. When anger controls you, your judgment disappears. When fear controls you, your courage fades. When panic controls you, your mind becomes blind. But calmness is power, because when you remain calm, your mind becomes clear. You see what others cannot see. You understand what others cannot understand. Life will bring storms, hardship, betrayal, loss. But the greatest warriors are not the ones who conquer the world. The greatest warriors are the ones who conquer themselves.